living as living epistle. Let's welcome the youth president, Sister Anne Omata.
Can I tell you a secret? And I need you to keep it. No, actually, I need you to feel it. Because this one lives in the chest of every believer who loves God deeply. But lately it has been running on a fever. Not the fire kind, the tired kind. The Lord, I'm trying, but I can't find the time kind. We come to church, we lift our hands high, we sing all the songs, we don't ask why. But somewhere between the altars and the drive home, something gets lost, and we can't find it alone. You want to pray, but the bed feels like a cloud. You want to read the word, but the silence is too loud. You love God, yes, but lately love hasn't felt loud. But nobody talks about it. Nobody stands up in service and says, Pastor, I've been struggling to show up for God these days. We all smile and say, I'm fine, I'm blessed, while quietly failing every spiritual test. But can I tell you something? You are not alone in this. Even Elijah, the man who called down fire, who stood on mountains and never seemed to tire, who outran chariots and silenced false prophets. After all that, he sat under a tree and he said, Lord, it's enough. I'm tired. Not because he stopped believing, but because the man was exhausted. Yes, the ambassador was exhausted. And God, in all his glory, didn't shout, didn't lecture, didn't tell him to try harder. He let him sleep, then sent an angel to feed him. Because sometimes the most spiritual thing God does is to meet you where you are and say, eat, the journey is too long. So stop beating yourself for being human. Stop thinking your struggles disqualifies your calling. Stop waiting to feel perfect before you start crawling back to the place where his presence is falling. Because here's the thing nobody wants to admit. Motivation is a wave. It comes and it goes. It rises with the worship and dies when nobody knows. You will not always feel like praying. You would not always feel like obeying. Life gets hard, the flesh gets tired, and feelings are the most unreliable GPS you could ever be wired with. What you don't need is more motivation, but what you need is a foundation. Because Jesus did not say, blessed is the man who felt inspired. He said, everyone who hears those words and put them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on a rock. Not the most talented man, not the emotional man, the man who showed up, the man who built something. So build a structure. 5 minutes before the chaos starts, give it to God. A prayer so short it fits in a commute, but so honest it moves the heart of heaven. 3 scriptures on your lunch break, 1 conversation with God before the world wakes. Not because you feel it, but because you decided. And a decision, a real decision, doesn't wait for feelings to sign the permission slip. Not now. Let me tell you about an ambassador. Not a motivational speaker, not a social media preacher, but a man sent from a king to a foreign land with the seal of the kingdom pressed into his hands. He didn't arrive begging. He didn't arrive ashamed. He walked in knowing whose name he came in. And that knowledge changed the whole game. He didn't fight like the locals. He didn't worry like the locals. He didn't chase what the locals chased. Because an ambassador doesn't adopt the culture of the country. An ambassador represents the culture of the kingdom. And that is you. Not just the church member, but not just the church member with a Sunday routine. Not just the believer surviving in between. You are sent, you are sealed, you are significant, stationed on earth, but your citizenship is in heaven. But somewhere, some of us get too comfortable in a foreign land. We start sounding like the world, worrying like the world, scrolling like the world, hating like the world, and then lifting up holy hands on Sunday like nothing happens. But an ambassador who acts like a local has committed a treason. So this conference right here is not just a program. This is a recall. Like when a product is pulled back by the manufacturer because something went wrong in the making. God is pulling us back, sitting us down, looking us in the eye and saying, remember who made you, remember who sent you, and remember who you represent. Because the world outside those walls is not waiting for another religious performance. They have read religion, they have read church people and walked away confused. But what they haven't read, what they are still waiting for, is a living epistle. Warm, consistent, real enough to bleed, but rooted enough not to break. Full of love that makes no sense by the world standard. The kind of love that forgives when it shouldn't. The kind of faith that stands when it couldn't. The kind of grace that gives when it's empty. That's the letter the world is desperate to read. So I ask you, when they open the book of your life, what story do they find? When they read your Monday, not your Sunday. When they read your kitchen and not your teachings. When they read how you treat people who cannot do anything for you. What chapter are they on? Because every morning you wake up, you pick up a pen. Every act of kindness, every moment of courage, every time you choose grace over revenge, structures over excuses, faithfulness over feelings, you are writing. And generations you will never meet may be shaped by the letter you are leaving behind today. So write well. Show up even when you are tired. Pray even where the words doesn't come out right. Build even when the progress feels slow. Go even when the land looks strange. Because God is not looking for a perfect performance. He never was. He's looking for a faithful ambassador. Well done, good and faithful servant, Matthew 25, verse 21. Not the loudest, not the most gifted, but the faithful one. The same God, the one who fed Elijah under the tree, who called Moses from a burning bush, who kept David through every valley and shadow. The same God is keeping you. So right now in this room, in this season, in this struggle, He hasn't forgotten the letter He started writing in you. You are a kingdom ambassador, a living epistle. Not because you always feel like one, but because you are made one. You are sealed with fire, sent on a purpose, and sustained by His grace. So tonight, when the service ends, when the music fades, when you get back to real life and real tired, don't wait for the feeling. Build the structure. Show up anyway, because the word is still reading. Now go and write something beautiful. Thank you.